It's the red zone. It's ACDC. We're prepping for that college day beginning football season, high school football. But no, we're not there. We're still relaxing. We're still recharging, making sure we learn from last year, getting ready for this upcoming school year. Josh Nowat, proud principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA, Texas, ready to learn from all of these awesome educators right here on my screen. But we also need you guys wherever you're at. If you're in Iowa, Idaho, we need you to come in, like it, share it if you're watching it on the rebroadcast, because that's the only way we're going to do awesome in 23-24 is learning from each other. So if you're in Alaska or in your Hawaii, if you're in Maine or in Florida or anywhere in the 48 middle, we need you. Come on and join us. What do you think about that, Dean Packard in Massachusetts?
It's Thursday night, Josh, and you are once again on fuego, my friend, as you lead into our not a new session, our Red Zone, man. And Red Zone is about all just coming together, just talking about education and just becoming a little bit better together. We've been doing that for a while, and we got a great panel tonight. So I'm excited to be able to hear about what they're doing, where we're at. And, we're going to first start by going around the table. Just introduce yourself and the school that you're at. Nothing more than that. Let's go first with Nancy. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Nancy Tovar. I'm the proud principal of Loretto Academy, which is an all-girls Catholic high school. So go Angels.
Go Angels. Perfect. Welcome again. John, you're up.
I'm John Gobieski. I'm an assistant principal at Musselman High School in Inwood, West Virginia. Thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome, John. Welcome to the show as well. Michael with that smile. Go, Michael.
Michael Bobo, Wilson Middle School in Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough County School District.
Outstanding. Welcome back, Michael. And Otis, another familiar face. Otis, welcome back.
Otis Kitchen, proud principal of Town and Country Elementary School here in sunny Tampa, Florida.
You and Michael are like brothers down there, man. All right, good stuff. Sunny, probably 90 degrees and humid. That's what it's all about down there anyway. All right, guys, we're going to turn this around a little bit and talk about your background in education, what you taught as a teacher, and the different roles you've had leading up to the current role you're at now. Otis, you're up.
This is my 22nd year in education. I started off as a 5th grade teacher. I've taught 5th grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I've been a behavior specialist, an assistant principal, and now I'm a proud principal.
That is a great line right there, man. Great stuff. Michael.
I started out, and this is my 25th year, started out as a ILAP teacher, was intensive reading, intensive language arts, and critical thinking. I did a stint with in-school suspension, also did reading for my last years of teaching. Then I became an administrator. I've been an administrator for last 17 years.
Outstanding. Another nice ride right there. John, you're up.
I started out as a social studies teacher. For 11 years, I taught social studies, mostly government and law. And then I moved on looking for a new opportunity challenge into administration. I started out as an assistant principal in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Then I moved up to a principal position at a Catholic school in the same city. So it was a different experience because it was a private school. And then I decided to come back over to this side of the state. And I've been at Musselman High School now I'm going on my 4th year there. So just looking forward to new opportunities in a new year.
I love that. Great stuff right there too. Nancy, you're up.
So I am a lifelong El Pasoan. I spent 31 years of my career in El Paso ISD. I started out as a 1st grade teacher and a 4th grade teacher, then became an assistant principal, spent 11 years in the principalship at the elementary level. Then I went to human resources, and I was a human resources director and then executive director of human resources in El Paso ISD. Then the last 4 years of the time there, I was an assistant superintendent for elementary and pre-K-8 campuses. And now I'm back to being a principal, which is the best job in the whole wide world.
Full circle. Absolute full circle. Good stuff. Josh Tovar, what about you? A little bit about you. Well, you're on mute. The cat's got you.
I'm telling you, this new computer. I'm just like you, Dean Packard. I have a brand new computer. It won't click off. What about me? I'm an educator for the last 31 years. I'm right behind that young lady right there, but just I don't have the job to retire yet. But if I do, I don't know. There might be something out there. But been at all levels, elementary all the way to teaching at the university level, and a lot of stuff there in the middle. But after 31 years, you pretty much, I think I'm in my 13th or 14th school already. So it's had a little taste of a lot of things that are going on out there. Hey, Dean Packard, I heard you just had a change.
A change.
What about you? What about you?
Shrinking as I'm getting older, but a change. Yes, from one school to another. But again, and I heard people talk about this earlier, change is good. Change helps build capacity. Change gets you out of your comfort zone. And yes, I've gone from a middle school for the last 20 years as a principal, now to a high school. That's right up the street from where I was. And I'm looking forward to a great opportunity. And more importantly, making a difference for people around me and empowering the heck out of them. So I'm learning a lot about systems and structures and organization and putting them in place and having fun. Good stuff.
Awesome. Oh, so we're going to start off now by learning, going a little bit deeper into you guys. As Principal Cafele says, we're not here to fake the funk, all right? So be straight out. Hey, Otis, talk to me. Who inspired you, sir, to get into education? Who lit that fire? And part two, Otis, part two. Who's currently motivating you to get that fire going hotter?
Well, who actually inspired me to get into education was my mom. She was an educator for 40 years. She principal. I saw the work that she put in and I saw the impact that she was making. And at the time, I really didn't know that she was making that impact. But as I got older, as I started to work basketball camps and be around children, I just felt the connection. And as a result of those things, I knew being around students and empowering them to believe in themselves was my passion, and that continues to be my passion.
What about right now? Who keeps you going?
Well, the Principal Cafele Facebook Live is everything to me. Just to be able to get that energy, that passion, to be able to engage with educators across the country. I meet so many people through that platform. Just met somebody just recently for the first time. He's from Virginia. He's an administrator doing empowering work and just continuing to learn, because I always take something back from those sessions. And I even got a chance to visit Josh at his school and see how passionate you are. And I've taken some nuggets from you as far as social media platform and your passion for the morning messages. I brought that into my leadership and just continuing to learn and be inspired by Principal Cafele and his Leadership Academy.
Love it, Otis. John, talk to us.
Absolutely. So, I had a history teacher in high school who just, saw something in me I couldn't find about myself. I really was not self-motivated. I didn't really see what my path would be or what kind of future I would have. But she had given me a project where I needed to teach a lesson to the class. And I just felt like that was what I needed to be doing. And so that carried me through college and gave me purpose. And I'd say probably really just the daily work of the relationships with my teachers and with the students, with everyone that I, do this thing with, to make sure that we not just provide the best educational opportunities for kids, but we make them the best version of themselves and give them the opportunities to do that. I think that's what keeps, the fire in my belly.
Love it, John. Great talk. Nancy, talk to us.
Well, I think that I'm a little bit like Otis. I'm inspired by my parents. They're both career educators, public school educators. My dad was the high school football coach for 50 years and social studies teacher. And my mom was a student activities manager for her whole career. So I grew up around the school. I mean, school was 24/7, in our lives. So kind of just seemed natural to go into the profession. I've always loved kids, always loved working with kids. But I found as I developed as an educator and certainly as a leader, I really love working with teachers. I think that teachers definitely are the inspiration. I say they're the miracle workers. They get the work done. And so I'm very much inspired by teachers. But right now, I have to say I am super uber inspired by the principals that I just finished that career in, in EPISD. I led 15 principals, and I saw day in and day out the hard work. And so I'm inspired by the work of principals. I've always felt very strongly that about the role, the importance of the principalship, the importance of school leaders. And so that's where my inspiration is right now, from those 15 amazing individuals that I think about all the time.
Thank you, Nancy. Greetings from, who is it, Delia? My old eyes can't see there.
That's Delia. She's a principal here in Tampa.
All right, great. Florida
Yeah.
crew.
Hey,
There.
Delia.
All right. Michael, what about you?
So just like Nancy and Otis, my parents were educators, but I definitely said I ain't going into that. So I was like, man, I ain't touching it. But then when I got out of college, I was, of course, in church, and hey, Delia, and one of the ladies was like, you need to go into education. I said, no, I'm gonna be a lawyer. But then she said, just do it for a year. So I did it for a year, and these students gave me this energy that I could not describe. And it was just amazing. I was like, dude, I cannot leave this. And I got the same vacations that I had when I was in college. How can you beat that, right? So to get into it, it really were students that gave me that energy, gave me that fire. And I've always been in middle school. And even right now, they're the ones that inspire me. But being able to be in a network group, because right now I'm a part of the National Center of Education and Economy, and we talk to leaders across the United States, and to be able to talk to them, and we have the same struggles, but we always have that courage and that fight and that determination to get this done for the students and for teachers. And Nancy really hit it. Like when she said that, that really touched me, because I'm like, I want everyone that comes in the building to feel great when they come in the building. Like they want to do it, not only educate, but also make a difference for each other and for our students. So that's what my inspiration is.
That's holistic, and I like that. It's not just about kids. It's also about the staff. It's also about the learning community. All those things are really important. Hey, let's pivot for a second. Let's turn this dance in another direction. Let's look at 22, 23. Look at how you got through it, and what did you learn from 22 and 23? And what is like one of your biggest nuggets for 23, 24 that you're going to take on? And why don't we start with Nancy?
Oh gosh. Well, for me, I just have to say that, God is good. And the path that God puts you on is just sometimes it's crazy, and this is the crazy ride I'm on. If you would have told me a year ago that I was going to be back in the principalship at a high school, I would have laughed. But I am just so I'm so energized and enlightened by this road I'm on. So I feel like that a lot of times as school leaders, we're a little bit of a control freak, and
Let it go.
that's not always good. So I would say that sometimes you do have to just let things happen. I mean, some things happen organically, and for me personally, it was last year was just a spiritual journey. It's crazy, but it's so good. So I'd say let go and just let things happen. That's my nugget for this year.
Awesome. Good stuff, John.
I'd have to say, to quote one of my favorite shows, Ted Lasso, I learned from this year, and I applied. Be curious, not judgmental. I don't know if any of you guys are fans of the show, but I took on a lot of new responsibilities this year, from testing coordinator to special ed coordinator to anything that ends in coordinator. And so just busy. But the thing was, I could have gotten overwhelmed really easy, and I think the biggest, I just went into it to say, okay, I just ask a lot of questions, learn from the mistakes that I make, don't carry them with me when I leave the building, just continue to ask questions and get better every time. And just with that attitude, and then get to the summertime and take that reflection time. Like Otis was talking about, getting away to another place. You get away to another place, you reflect, and then you come back and you apply everything. You ask more questions and you do it again. So it's an exciting process and evolution, and it's a good thing.
Good stuff. Michael.
This past year, I was moved to a high SES school, and I've always been at low SES schools. I know what they needed. I knew what the community needed. It was just like second nature. But being at this high SES school is totally different. The students really already have the support that I used to give to low SES. So I had to change my focus, and I had to learn, what does the community need? What do the parents need? What do these students really need to make sure they can make it day to day? And so as I sat and I learned, and there's some things that I would do naturally that necessarily wasn't needed at the school. And there were some other things that I didn't tap into with my talents that I really needed to tap into to make sure that I had a successful year. So going through that whole year taught me that I needed to stay vigilant in my learning, and not only in my leadership learning, but people. Do I know the people? Do I understand the people? Do I understand the culture? Do I understand the community? So this year, since I know it, I know what to walk into and how to handle it this year to make us progress more. So the one real nugget I really want to push is our technology, because it's one thing that we do a lot in education. We take technology away from students. Instead, when they get out of school, technology is everywhere and they use it. But once they get to school, we kind of take it away. So I want to see how because it's a high SES school, so they can get it anytime they want to, anywhere. How can we make sure that they're using it for the benefit of their education? So that's what I'm going to try to take with me into this year, then talk to the leadership and see how we can establish that for us.
Michael, when you figure out how to use technology to help augment learning only, let me know. I want to read that book, okay? Because that cell phone is a big deterrent to learning all over the place in schools. But nevertheless, Otis, take it away, my friend.
When I mentioned earlier, when I visited Josh's school, and I heard Josh use his morning message to motivate his entire school community. So Principal Kafele, he talks about using the morning message to motivate your school community also. And I started to do that really consistently every single morning with passion, with enthusiasm, with pure joy. And that truly sets the tone for the entire school and for the students to really, truly believe in themselves. If you just hit home with the same consistent message every single day. And I was able to bring in prominent people around the community that look like them, judges, city councilmen, for them to breathe life into the students as well. So I want to continue to use that platform to drive home to the students to truly believe in themselves and that they can excel, because everything starts here. And if you can tap into their minds, anything is possible. So I want to continue to drive home that message.
Good stuff right there.
Awesome. Hey, and you know what, Otis? Just a heads up. Our assistant principal at the campus, she's like a technology whiz. And so every Wednesday when we do Student of the Week, we do the messages virtual via Google Meet.
Ooh.
So the announcements are throughout the school virtual on Google Meet, and then we do Student of the Week live also. And that when you see me record that on Twitter, but that whole session is all broadcast throughout the school. So something for you to look at. All you do is Google Meet, and it's all live there off of a phone, and it's beautiful. It really makes everybody interact. Because I'm singing to the songs and I'm doing all this stuff. They're like, "Are we looking at you?" Yeah, well, I know you're looking at me. I don't care.
Yeah, and I remember being at your school and seeing how you had the students to take off their cap and then take it back on, and how that makes the visual work and how beautiful it comes out. And I know the students love it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And those are the things that you learn from other people, and you know what, and learning from that is a great sign of leadership. And that's where I'm going with this. John, I'm going with this in regards to, what do you look for we have a lot of years of experience here on this call right now. So John, what do you think is a perfect example of what a leader should be? Because everyone's a leader. The head custodian, he's a leader. The manager at the cafeteria, that's a leader. Name it. We have leaders at different levels at all stages of our home, our schools. So John, what is a leader?
Well, I think, the biggest thing is that a leader is someone who is willing to accept the positive things that come from the people around them. And I think one of the things that I always try to do in a building is get with the custodians, the cooks, the secretaries. You said in the previous podcast, those guys are that's where everything begins and it ends. You've got to get with those individuals and you've got to figure out what am I getting that's wonderfully positive from this person, and you've got to and I think being a leader is accepting those things and helping apply that as a collaborative community to what you're trying to accomplish in the school. And if you're willing to do that, you can't do anything but progress.
Love it, John. Thank you very much, Michael.
So as a leader, I think it's important. I always talk about the people. I think that's, a number one. I do the same thing as Josh. Every morning I come in, I talk to the cafeteria. How y'all doing? Do you need anything? Custodians, do you need anything? Before I even get around to the teachers to make sure that they're established. But the biggest thing I think is the communication. If everybody is on the same page and you make sure everyone's on the same page by your communication, by going to talk to them. And I love that, Josh. I'm going to take that, not only that morning message, but to Google Meets, because not only do the students see it, but the teachers see it. So they have to reflect it. Custodians see it. The cafeteria, like everybody's seeing this, and everybody is saying the same thing. So as a leader, you have to make sure that everyone's going in the same route, because you can't be going two different areas and trying, we're going up north, but we're taking two different highways. No, we can't do that. We got to be going the same way, the same path, and take the same route. So I think that's key to make sure that your communication and your vision is established in your school.
Otis.
I feel a leader is someone that motivates and inspires. So, and by that, I mean words and specifically your actions. Your actions have to dictate that you are truly invested. You're truly about servant leadership. You value everyone. I don't care who steps on the campus. You are the most important person on that campus. And a leader doesn't take anything personally. Right. Because the moment that you take something personally, that's the moment where your emotions get involved and people are always watching you. So that trickles down. The leader sets the tone for the entire school. Specifically, the principal sets the tone for the entire school.
Exactly. Who is it? Todd Whitaker. It says when the principal sneezes, the school gets a cold.
Yes, he does.
For sure.
Yep.
Nancy.
Well said.
Well, I think it really just builds on what Otis just said. I think it was John Maxwell who says that a leader is an influencer. I mean, that's the role, to influence. And so if you think about that, what you said, Josh, at the beginning, which anyone could be a leader, and sometimes the leader may not be a positive leader. That happens at times when you have the absence of strong leadership, and leadership rises up in the absence of strong leadership. So what I think a leader does is influence, and you have to understand that's powerful too. You have the power to make things better. You also can make things worse, or take things in the wrong direction. So I think that, leadership to me is the power to influence. And once you understand that, and then you have a vision or a direction that you know that this organization, this group of people, that you're moving in that same direction, that's where the power is, but it's something you have to treat carefully.
So let's talk about podcasts and conferences, and talk about how they renew you, give you direction, and just help inspire yourself to get to the next level. And maybe something that you've done recently, maybe something you've seen that you could just share out with people and just say, this is why I watched this podcast, or this is why I went to this conference, because it gave me the juice I needed to actually just to be a better version of me. And John, why don't you start off with that one?
I think the ones that are most beneficial to me are the ones that are really within my district, where we have principals and assistant principals coming together. We don't have always a lot of opportunities throughout the year to take the time to go to a lot of different places or even see each other. You may be a mile down the road. I may not see you until these opportunities throughout the year when they put us all together. But I think it's so beneficial to be able to have those conferences within the district where we're meeting with other assistant principals, individuals who are at the Board of Education, directors, so on and so forth, because there's shared experiences that I think are so powerful. I don't realize that sometimes 10 other people are going through the same thing that I'm trying to, identify a solution for. I need to hear it from them. I need to ask questions of other people, and use that to help me be a better leader within my building. And so I find those to be truly inspirational, and definitely I come out of those energized, ready to get back to work.
Michael.
I try my best to take time to learn as a leader from different places. I'm not just saying this because I'm on here, but this podcast is just like excellent. The way that you're able to bring different leaders in and have different perspectives, I think is awesome. Just recently, I was able to go to the National Center of Education and Economy. They had a retreat because I'm a part of their collaborative. One of the best retreats I've been. It was in San Diego, but what happens is they don't make us think about tasks. They make us think of how we can improve as a leader. So for example, we talked about how can we infuse technology and not run away from technology. We also asked, what is the purpose of school? Like a lot of times we're so used to doing the routine. Are we really doing what's best for our students? And are our students really a part of our school, or are we doing something to them? And then lastly, we talked about what are we doing? How are we setting boundaries so that we can take care of ourselves? Love what Otis said, look, I have to take time to step back, because a lot of us don't take the time to step back, or we wait till summer to do it. And sometimes we need to do it in October and take a couple days to step back and get away so that we can we keep telling everybody else to do it, but we don't do it ourselves. So we have to make sure that we're ready as a leader to be revitalized and ready to go. So during that conference, it rejuvenated me. I was able to talk to other professionals and talk to superintendents and see what their view is like in Arkansas, somewhere that I never thought about going, but what's going on there in Arkansas versus in Washington. And just getting that fire and feeling that energy and being able to talk to them and knowing that there are others around, like John said, that have the same type of struggles that we do, but we find out how we can move forward in where we are and in our position. So that's what I usually do. I try to get out to make sure I see it through the podcast and through those leadership trainings.
Nancy.
So this summer, and I go every summer to this conference, and I've been very involved with the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association, otherwise known as TEPSA. I was their state president back in 2016, but for years and years, I've been attending summer conference. And one time I heard someone describe it that as school leaders, by the end of May or June, you're a raisin, and you need to come back to school as a grape in August. And so I always feel very raisiny in June, and it's always the first 2 weeks of June. So this year, it was just it's always what I needed. It's at the moment. So you hear great speakers, but then there's breakout sessions, but it really is just a time to be with others that understand the work you do. It's very focused on the leadership skills to develop, and you can pick sessions, and it's just the thing that every school leader needs, but a lot of times we deny it for ourselves because we put everyone else ahead of ourselves. I know so many principals that will not budget for their own professional learning. They will put every cent into their teachers' professional learning, but they will feel guilty, like, oh, I can't, that's not right. And I tell principals all the time, that has to be in your budget. You need PD, you need to be away from the campus to decompress. And that's what's necessary to grow and learn. So I love TEPSA. I'm going to shout out about TEPSA. I don't know now that I'm a secondary person. I'm going to have to join TSS. I don't know. I guess so, Josh, right? Yeah. All right. I'll do it.
That's the only way. TASSP, baby, and NASSP.
Don't get Josh cranked up tonight, please.
Oh, hey, I'm the NASSP
Hold
ambassador.
on. Hey, it's Otis's turn. You
my bad.
Come on, Tovar, you're killing me.
Well, I love to go to conferences because I get a chance to hear across the country some amazing and empowering things that are going on, but also I get a chance to connect with people. I've connected with so many people across the country. Like Josh described, my wife and I were always trying to travel. And when we travel, it seems like oftentimes I'm able to connect with people that I've met, and they give me insight about the city. I meet with them, we sit down, have dinner, they take me around. So just be able to connect with leaders, get some new knowledge about empowering work going on in the country, and be able to connect with people. And don't even talk about education. We could talk about family life and just another opportunity to connect with someone. So I love conferences, and I'm going to continue to go to them each and every year.
Good stuff. Okay, JT, now you can talk.
Thank you. So now, as we starting off, people are hiring. I still need 3 positions. I'm pretty sure everyone needs positions right now to get filled.
Need a physics teacher. You know somebody out there, please apply.
Massachusetts is open. So let us know right now, with your experience, what you brought to the table, all these nuggets. Talk to out there. Talk to a brand new administrator. Doesn't matter, AP or principal, right? Brand new administrator who just got the keys, per se, to a high school, and they're letting them know, hey, this is your school. What advice do you have to give them? And a brand new educator. Because a lot of our brand new educators, they're not the traditional thing that we did. They're alt certs now. So a lot of them are alt certs, and they didn't go through Maslow and Bloom's and Sir Giovanni. They're all
Sir Giovanni. That's what this guy.
And so you know what I'm going to notice. You know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
so talk to those 2 groups of people: brand new educators, brand new administrators. Otis Kitchens.
The number one thing, and I know I said this before, is to not take things personally. That is the new educator, the new administrator. I don't care what your role is, because things are going to happen that are out of your control. Things are going to happen to where you don't have the full story. So don't jump to conclusions. Just be patient, take information, process it. Don't react. Again, gain knowledge, and then move forward accordingly. That is the best advice I can give to anyone. I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're a veteran educator. Don't take things personally.
Nancy.
My advice for, which I need to take my own advice, but for a new principal. Well, first of all, I read this quote just yesterday, and it's really stuck with me, which is, old keys don't open new doors. And I think that sometimes you bring your experience, and it's really easy to just say, well, I used this before, it'll serve me well here. But, with every change, there could be some hidden traps and things that you're not seeing, because every organization, every school is different. So I think that as a new leader, you really have to build trust. You have to spend time getting to know people and establishing good relationships. And that means a lot of observation and a lot of non-judgmental work with people. And sometimes it's hard when you're coming in and you see things that oh, I know how to fix that, or, oh, I know what. You have to a little bit of restraint, because it's the important thing is that first year is building relationships. For teachers, oh my gosh. I think for teachers, I think that, now more than ever, a teacher is never doing it by themselves. They have to have a strong mentor. They have to have the support from their principals. They need frequent check-ins. So the thing that I would say to that teacher is, if you're not getting that support, you have to reach out. You have to reach out to others. You have to talk to your principal, your assistant principals, your curriculum or instructional coaches, the teacher next door. You cannot do it alone.
Love it. Awesome. John.
Absolutely. So, with this past year, we had a new administrator. He had been teaching for 7 years. He was 28 years old, coming into his first assistant principalship. And the biggest thing, I think, that the conversation surrounded was, once again, just to be curious, to ask questions. It's okay not to know things. It's okay to not have the answer all the time, because someone does. Someone has gone through those things. And so, I always just, really kind of sent the message to him that my door is always going to be open for you. Make sure you walk through those doors. Make sure you ask those questions. Make sure that you're patient with yourself. And make sure that you don't beat yourself up too bad about things. You learn from them. And once again, you seek out the people who can be the most supportive. And really, just to kind of echo what Nancy said with new teachers, especially with the increasing amount of permanent substitutes that we see within our facilities, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. These are individuals who may be very skilled in a certain area, such as business computing, but they don't understand what a structure of a classroom looks like. They don't understand how to build relationships with their students or collaborate with other teachers. And I think so. It's really that support there. You need to have a good structure of new teacher onboarding in place. You need to make sure that the mentorship programs are there, so they feel like they have people to go to. You need to make sure collaboration is happening, and that they know how to find people to collaborate with. And that all of that is intentional. That's the only way to do it. And that's how you build them, on their way to being a certified teacher, or with your certified teachers that are fresh out of college. It's how you build, like, once again, a trusting relationship. So, they come out of year one, not feeling beat up, and they're ready to go for year two.
Love it. Yes, John, exactly. Michael.
So as an administrator, I mean, all this knowledge that's being dropped right now, I don't even know what to say next, because it's so true. I'm sitting and hearing everything, and I'm like, I wish somebody would have said that to me when I first walked through the door, right? So for an administrator, the first thing I would tell them, as I've been saying, is get to know your people, get to know your campus, get to know your community, and not one of those things that we did a meet and greet in August, and then you really don't know anybody until parent conference time. No, get to know them on a regular basis, and sit down and talk to your teachers as many times as you get an opportunity to. I know I'm a firm believer in going not only in the teachers' classrooms when they're teaching, but not that observation, but go during their conference time when they kind of got time to chill out and talk to them, spend some time with them in the morning or afternoon, and just talk to them. As a new educator, asking, both educator and administrator, but asking questions. It's so hard for us when we're sitting and we don't know. It's hard for us to say that we don't know. Or I don't know, I don't understand this. That's hard for us to do. But as long as you are giving someone that space and they're comfortable to talk to someone, just like John said, we build those collaboration groups so you can talk to somebody and say, I don't understand what this is. Even for, like, when I first started teaching, they kept talking about this FCAT thing. And I was like, what is this? And I walked out and I talked to an old teacher and I said, hey, what is the FCAT? They said, oh, don't worry about it, you'll learn. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. Then I went to my classroom and it was like, get your classroom ready. I didn't know what to do with that. So that really put an impression on me that new teachers, we might think they know, but a lot of times they don't know. So we can always ask, hey, how you doing? How'd your day going? And we know how we are. We're good. Oh, it was a great day. We did, because we want to keep our job, right? But we need to make sure that we spend some time, get to know people, because Michael might not tell you until you start talking to him, and then he'll tell you everything. So we just need to know our people, not only know our people, but get to know them so that we can build a community and a family so that they feel comfortable when they come to work every day.
Well, how about that? So now let's wrap this up with how can people connect with you guys and where you're at, whether it's on social media, what platforms you're on. Otis, why don't you go first, my friend?
Twitter, Old Kitchen 32. That's where I am. Sunny Tampa, Florida. Temperature's 110 today, Mike?
Yeah, yeah.
I actually got an alert from the city of Tampa. They basically told me don't go outside. So, but yeah, they can find me on Twitter.
All right, that's good stuff right there. Okay, Michael, you're up.
I'm at Michael Bobo 74, and Josh, I'm doing better. I'm doing more tweets. I'm trying to put stuff out there. This year, I'm gonna take another platform on. I don't know which one it's gonna be, but we're gonna see. That's where I'll be in Tampa, Florida. Anytime you want to come see me and Otis. Otis plays basketball too. He can tell you that because he's famous down here for basketball. He'll tear you apart. So anytime you want to come visit, come see us.
I want to tell Florida Atlantic University, my school, we were in the Final Four. All right, one shot away from the championship game. Just put that out there, everybody.
That's right.
All right, John, you're up.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at Colonel G77. You can interact with me there, find out what's going on at Musselman High School. But one thing I've really gotten into is TikTok. And it can be used for good and it can be used for evil. Let me tell you what, I just love to get on there and do the craziest, silliest videos, and my kids love it. My kids, they'll come and see me in the hallways, and it's just a great conversation starter. I'm okay with making a fool of myself for my students every single day, and because it makes them understand that we're human beings. So TikTok is the Colonel 77. Check out my videos. My catchphrase is "Let's ride." I think I do a little bit better than Russell Wilson, but I'm just gonna put that out there, guys. And none of you guys are from Denver. Okay?
What is it again? I gotta follow you. What is this?
The Colonel 77.
All right.
You're gonna see a different side of me. I will assure you of this. But I will tell you, I have a great time because I love what I do. It just started as a silly thing, but it turned into something that everyone wanted to know when my next video was coming out. So there'll be more to come. But that's where you can find me. Colonel G77 on Twitter and the Colonel 77 on TikTok. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
And you're meeting kids where they're at, man. And that is so cool. Love to hear that. Nancy.
So I'm on Twitter at Nancy Tovar WH.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Josh Tovar, what do you think? Possibly another?
We did
another
stumble off balance, I formation, dive up the A gap, touchdown. We scored a touchdown, Dean Packard. We scored another touchdown on the red zone, getting ready for high school and college football around the corner. But hey, Dean Packard, we're not done. Dean Packard, we are not done. This Sunday, the flagship show, Go Crickets.
Go Crickets. Who's that? There's only one person who says
can't
Go
see
Crickets.
that anymore.
Oh, no, he's already left that district.
That's it. Joe Sanfilippo. This
Joe
Sunday,
Sanfilippo will be in the house.
Go Crickets.
Oh, my. I can't wait. That's gonna
So
be
join
fun.
us. Be there. If you don't see it, like and share it on the rebroadcast. Thank you. Let's go home, Dean Packard.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of Nancy, John, Michael, and Otis. Let me tell you what, rock stars in the house tonight, making a difference for everybody. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week. JT, always great to see you. Folks out there, be well. Take care of those kids.